Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This video is for everyone, but especially for those weasels who still believe, because they believe, they don't think, they believe that the allies are friends and they're together and they trust one another. This is an article that I have three of them, that will prove the contrary. And that will prove how Americans trust their allies, which is anybody in Europe, which they don't. And I show you three articles related to F-16 pilots. As you know, this guy is going to probably provide some planes. I don't know, maybe that's the wrong word I'm using, provide. Will use some planes, F-16s, in Ukraine. Piloted or, used by Ukrainian pilots. The problem is, and I didn't know that, the United States alone can decide if anybody else who has F-16s is allowed to train the Ukrainian pilots. Did you know that? I didn't know that. So that means, let's say, Great Britain, let's say, has, or Norway, has F-16s, the military. They cannot train Ukrainian pilots unless the Americans allows them. I didn't know that, now I do. And the United States told them, no, you can't train the Ukrainian pilots on F-16s. Not even look at them. Because they're so fantastic, built in what, 1977, 78, 76? But hey, with all the upgrades and all that, they're fantastic, that they cannot allow the Ukrainians to lay eye on that because they're going to dent them or something. So I have three articles here, and I'm going to show you how this alliance friendship goes. And I'm going to give you an example, if I still have time, about how the Americans operate their defense missile systems in Romania. I'm very familiar with it. That means the same. Romanians cannot show up closer to the systems, let alone they can't even touch them. No. Not even look at them. Only the Americans. But hey, they're part of NATO on the Romanian territory. But I can't even look at them. Don't believe me? Verify. So here we have the first article, and comes from the Russians. And you say, oh my God, Emil, you use the Russians. These are liars. Liars, pants of... Oh, what's this? Ukrainska Pravda? US does not allow Ukrainian pilots to train on F-16s in Europe. New York Times, Jesus Christ. Let's go to the weasels, right? US blocks European F-16 training for Ukrainian pilots. New York Times. So, is it true? Hey, weasels, whomever is a weasel over there should talk right now. And not all of you in the same time. Just kidding. So, is that a fact? Do you think that's true? Now we have New York Times talking about it with the Russians and Ukrainians reporting the same thing. So anyway, let's see. Let's read the Russians a little bit. And then the third one is going to be how the Americans dictate. But remember, these are allies, all of them. So US blocks, I like this one, blocks. But the same thing is nice here. Does not allow, okay? Forbidden. Without Washington's approval, Kiev's Air Force can only receive lessons on language and tactics, an official has told the newspaper. Now, you got it? Language. Je m'appelle blah blah blah. I am Michael Jackson. Alright, that's it. The US has forbidden its European allies from providing Ukrainian pilots with training on F-16 fighter jets. The New York Times has reported, citing a high-ranking official in Kiev. So, without approval from Washington, the best that Ukrainian airmen can hope for are lessons on technical language and tactical training on the ground. That means this is about how they're gonna do. So now, everyone, spread your wings. I'm gonna fly like chick. They're gonna go in a parking lot. Chick, and you come like this, and the escadron comes this way, and then you stop, and you brake, and then you back off with the plane, like this flying, and then you do like this, and then you do I don't know, something. That's how they're gonna train. I've seen something like this in a long time ago in a video. I think that's how they were trained. The Germans were training when they were not allowed to have, armies right after First World War. They have a very limited. They were training like this, tank battalions in that fashion. Like, I'm the tank here with my crew, I'm gonna go this way. They were training like that. So I'm guessing these guys are back in time. It's more than 100 years ago, so what do you want? Knowledge is knowledge, the same thing. Tactics are the same thing. Unbelievable, man. Ukrainian blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's go to... Let me see if this guy is the unnamed Ukrainian official told the New York Times that 4 nations, including the Netherlands and Norway, have quietly signaled that they are ready to supply Ukraine with the warplanes produced by Lockheed Martin. If the Americans say no, bye-bye. You know what I mean? There's no way. So again, the UK, the Netherlands announced on Tuesday that they would work on building an international coalition right here to provide Kiev with everything from training to procuring F-16 jets. That's not going to happen until the Americans want. Biden is sticking to its stance of not sending its own F-16s to Kiev yet, right? So let's see the Ukrainians. What are they saying? So the official noted that without US permission, Ukrainian pilots can only be familiarized with a technical language, left, right, up, down, brake, turn around, looping, all these kinds, and conduct tactical lessons. The test flights on the F-16 are not possible. Fantastic. And now we have this one right here. This is the big news. This is about, what, an hour ago or so. Exclusive. US could train Ukrainian pilots to fly F-16s in 4 months. By then, the whole world is done. But brace yourselves. How many pilots do you think they're going to train? Give me a number. You got 3 seconds. 2, 1, done. Let's go. Yahoo News has exclusively obtained an internal US Air Force assessment that concludes it would take only 4 months to train Ukrainian pilots to operate American made F-16 fighter jets, a far shorter time frame than what has been repeatedly cited by Pentagon officials. They're always like, it was 6 months on the tanks, then the Ukrainians did it on 3 months. These guys in 6 months, 4 months. The document, which was shared with a number of NATO allies who fly F-16s, contained a detailed assessment undertaken in late February and early March at Morris, blah, blah, blah. So this is it. Now, the number. 2. 2 Ukrainian airmen. 1 qualified on the MiG-29, the other on the Sukhoi 27, were given no formal training on the F-16 according to the assessment, other than a brief familiarization. They were then tested on a flight simulator, conducting 9 simulator events covering 11.5 total hours. 2. Okay, 2, that's good. This is the whole whatever, tell us. So you got it? So when the Americans brought missile systems, defense missile systems in Romania to block anything that the Iranians would send towards Europe. That supposedly was the reason. The same with Poland. Poland and Romania were supposed to defend Europe from a missile attack coming from Iran. Okay? Take a map, look over it, and laugh. And Putin said, "Are you kidding me?" And it's a famous or infamous video with Vladimir Putin over there. On YouTube, you can find it when he laughs. A journalist, whatever, asks Putin, "So why are you so upset with the Americans putting those missiles, defense systems in Romania and Poland, and that's for deterring and defending Europe from Iran?" And Putin started laughing and said, "You make me laugh. It's late right now, but you really make me laugh. I'm gonna go to bed in a good mood." That means you think that those things are for Iran. I mean, you gotta be dumb as to believe that. But hey, we got our population, our voters, some of them that really believe that. Like a fish when you cast a lure. I think I'm hungry, I'm gonna get it. And then it's done. So the same here, my friends. So much trust among allies. Only 2 pilots were allowed to jump on a simulator, 11 hours, 11.5 or whatever hours. And everybody is just, we're gonna learn the language. Up, down, left, right. Ooh, brake. Ooh, back off, or reverse. All right, this is what they do. I wonder why only the Americans are allowed to. And they specified over there as well the reason. They said it's too complex and they're afraid that those things will just trickle to the Russians somehow, the information. Jesus Christ, it's an old plane. Get over yourselves. Get over yourselves. I made so many articles on the F-16s, and I'm not going to pull out again Wikipedia to show you when it was first in service. I think 70-something, mid-70s, 1970s, mind you, not 1770s. Woo! You know what I mean? So 1978 or something like that, and then updated, upgraded, how much you want. It's still an old plane. But anyway, why? Aerodynamics and other things that I was able to do with the engine, build then and all that, but they made new ones. Okay, and that happens only to the US. The Russians still keep those old planes that they build the same. They never updated, upgraded, right? Right. Why? Because we are best, and they are not best. We are best. Not the best, we are best. Anyway, man, it's unbelievable. So, good job. So much trust. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.